Afternoon, everybody. It's been a few weeks, but hey, I'm back on the glorious couch under the ever glorious Christmas palm tree, surrounded by the glorious stuff that we usually have around us. So, how do I sound?
Got sound.
All right. So, couple updates. First, as to testing this weekend, we'll let you know. That's the bad news. The good news, the perf regression that we had been tracking, we actually found that. We actually found it last week, but we didn't realize we had found it until yesterday. Long story, stuff happens, but hey, the perf regression has been found. It is being addressed. So, I can't imagine that we won't be testing next week. But the good news is it wasn't a deep and dark and terrible one, which is very good. So those are the quick bits from the beginning. Good top 10-ish. Let's start with number one, work in progress, the Minstrel. Yay! The very first iteration of the Minstrel has arrived. Support classes. So, yep, there's the Minstrel on its way, and we did an initial pass on the abilities, which leads in beautifully to number two, work in progress, design. Guess what? Minstrel. Ben completed an initial testing and balance pass on the Minstrel class. So, again, hey, Minstrel. Number three, not to be outdone, the Dark Fool has made an appearance as well. Anthony added the panic stat, and with it the base set of Dark Fool components. Support class number two. And because of all this stuff, well, number four, work in progress. Tech, UI, why? Because AJ spent this week getting the UI ready for the support classes. Number five, tech, NPC behavior. Spidey was knee-deep in NPC behavior this week. So, we've been talking about this a lot, and we kind of need NPCs to be more than dumb as rocks. And as I was running around yesterday in a build with a whole lot of them not being as dumb as rocks, and each one of them apparently trying to sign on as my personal proctologist, I am really happy with the progress we are making on NPCs. Number six, work in progress, nav mesh. What can I say? The nav mesh is a lot of work. We all know from playing, whether it is single-player games or MMOs, getting NPCs to move around properly and then do their thing once they move around properly is always a bit of a challenge. So work continues on the challenge. Number seven, work in progress, tech, Linuxification. We are almost there. We have made a ton of progress on it, and it is it's looking good. Number eight, work in progress, tech tools. So Rob worked on the multi-select tool for the terrain editor this week. So, as much as it pains us to have guys like Rob or guys like Matt do things that they, shouldn't have to do, if we had the right number of engineers. But hey, I got good news on that. They're doing, a great job on such things. I mean, Rob has been suffering mightily having to be a tools guy, but, he volunteered. We need the help, and because of that, we're able now to create things, create spaces in the world faster than we were before. So that's really good, especially for, hey, a company would like to get this game out. Number nine, work in progress, support class icons. So James spent time this week completing the majority of needed icons for the Minstrel, Scowled, and Dark Fool. Number 10, art, concept, support class instruments. So after we chose the concept, Sandra created color pass and clean up with material references. Over the next several weeks, we'll create the models and initial supporting animations, because, hey, if we've got the classes that kind of need things to make music and sound kind of need the things that actually make new music and sound. Though we could always go with coconuts. Number 11, art, modeling, dark fooled bone reed pipe. Now, sadly, the way this is written is like bonered pipe. But, however, the producers think it should be spelled. Well, it does. So there. Based off Sandra's concepts, we've created the first instrument. Next week, we'll knock out the minstrel's harp lyre and the skald's harmonic frost axe. Love the concepts. Hope you all do too. I hope you did as well. All right, number 12, art, VFX, minstrel abilities. Mike and DB focused on getting decent placeholder sounds and visuals on the minstrel, primarily focused on the default starter abilities for initial testing. All right, last, and certainly not least, work in progress, art, music. DB focused on new instrument samples, not only for the new music, but also to improve some of the older samples in the existing music. So, hey, lots of good stuff. Obviously, Linuxification continues. Support classes being added. All good things. The good thing I mentioned before, in the last 2 weeks, we've had 2 new engineers start. One of them, who's been here almost 2 weeks, is absolutely kicking ass, and we're absolutely pleased with what he's been doing. The other engineer is now getting up to speed, so yay, great. And even the better part, we didn't lose anybody when we hired them, so hey, net win. 4-8. Okay, so let's keep this relatively short, 20 minutes, and then back to work outside of talking to all you fine people. Let's get started.
Give us your questions, folks. This is your chance. All those last week, people who were asking questions that we said Mark only could answer. Now is your chance. Mumblefish is keen to hear more about the panic.
So right now there's not a lot there. We're just getting it in. I mean, panic was something I envisioned, as a way to affect players without the total harshness of crowd control. It is an item that can be considered a CC item. If you have a spell that, for example, could affect panic among a lot of people. But, let's see how it comes out. But that was my intent with the panic stat. And not to have everyone just go running, screaming into the woods.
Zyruz wants to know will there be armor dies and other customization?
Oh my god, absolutely. We've said this right from the beginning. Obviously, we kind of had a pretty cool die system back in the day. With Dark Age, we want to do better this time. I know the design for it is really good, and hope sooner rather than later. Hopefully, we'll be seeing it.
Inflicting Megahertz asks, what weapon do you imagine most Skalds will be using? An instrument, a megaphone, or a sword?
For asking the question that way, it's got to be a megaphone, man. I mean, I think it would be awesome. And, we could do like the old college style, so they have to wear something that makes it look like they went to an Ivy League school and they were using a megaphone. Either that or they're on a, what's the correct word for the boat that rowers row in? It's not a boat. There's a word for it. A hull. So you can have the megaphones like the guys on the hull. I think it's a hull. Something like that. I know it's not a boat. And it's not a ship. But when you're doing rowing crew, there's a
hull
word.
Is a part of it.
Right, yeah. But when no, absolutely. But when you are doing crew, there's a specific name for the thing you're sitting in, and it's not a boat. It's not a ship. I thought it was a hull or something like that. Somebody, I'm sure, will comment on that.
I feel like AJ would know. Okay. Odelvik asks, will NPCs remember past interactions with PCs, and will their conversations change over time as a result of their interactions?
The majority won't. We're not looking to go to that, deep of a level with the NPCs. However, specific ones could absolutely do that. But for the most part, don't forget the NPCs in this game, really are designed for the depths, for caravans, for guards, limited interactions in the safe cities. We're not trying to build a super, deep RPG element to the NPCs. Just make them smart enough to know who to kill and to know where to chase you, be able to climb stairs, and do the things that they need to do to protect somebody's holdings. Otherwise, they're kind of useless.
Several people are asking about our estimate for going live.
We'll be talking about that absolutely in October. Bet you didn't think I was going to say that.
Vemnox asks, are there any classes that will have charm mechanics similar to sorcerers in Daok? If so, will they have different properties, such as casters or healers?
Sure, eventually, absolutely. No question about it. As we, expand to do other classes, as we expand, beyond that to the extended classes as well. And who knows, maybe we'll get a series on, Channel 50.
Oh Bumble asks, what are some of the key differences in playstyles between the 3 different support classes?
Oh, that's a long conversation. That's a Ben question, because I could only give what I wrote for him, and that is nowhere near as current as what we have now. So save that for a Ben question. I think it'll be about time that Ben, joins us for another, class-focused Q&A.
Pro Going Noob asks, will the upcoming test be available for Beta 2 testers? I still haven't had the chance to join a test yet.
Depending on the stability of the build, yeah, I think so. We need to get, your Beta 2s back in as well. It really is a stability thing. We like to do IT first, then Alpha, then Beta 1. So if everything is nice and stable, yeah, sure. Happy to have the Beta 2s rejoin us.
Sentu TV asks, did you guys not walk out of the office for climate change today?
No, this is a beautiful day today. No, we did not. We've got a lot to do. And as a general rule, even though we talk about politics a lot in the company, we don't get terribly involved in it. It's something. It's not something I either. I hugely believe in, don't believe in. It's nothing to do with that. It's simply we've got other things to do. We're late, and we've got a lot of work to do.
Lottoing has included stage directions in this question. I know you don't like to talk about dates, but... Dramatic pause.
Dun 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 dun.
How difficult is it for you to spend an evening with Lady J and not think about Camelot Unchained?
Like impossible. To say that I'm consumed by everything that's going on in this studio, it's always been my way. It was the same when I founded AUSI, and then Mythic, and now CSE. I mean, I was actually discussing this with some folks from a cloud provider last night. When we went out to dinner. I love this. I love making games. I love 99% probably of our backers. I have been doing this forever, and I get so much enjoyment out of it most of the time. As I've said, even on stream, there are times where I really wonder why I did this again. But that's okay. You should do that. You should always be questioning, yourself when it comes to, job, career choices, even at this stage of my career. But I love it. I love I just love what I do. And yeah, there are frustrating parts at times. Especially, once I went from being the guy who was doing everything back in the beginning of AUSI, where literally I was doing everything. I wrote the game, I wrote the manual, I wrote every piece of software that went along with it. Same when I started on Aradeath. And even the times then, I was getting frustrated with myself. Why won't this work? But you know what? This is a hell of a way to spend your life. And, if you can bring joy to people, then that's pretty good. And I think, the games that I've either made myself or the games I've been a part of have all brought an awful lot of joy to people. And so while it does get frustrating in times, and why I just can't turn off my brain, I really can't. Alcohol does not help. It's worth it, and it has been worth it. So, and Janet knows that. I mean, that's a nice thing. Lady J totally gets it. Frankly, if she didn't, she would have dumped me decades ago.
Bobo Dayak is a follow-up to the NPCs question. Do you realize that having your NPCs knowing what to do, what is their job, would be a pretty big step even for most humans on this planet?
Ah! How true is that? How true is that? But they are. They're actually, as I was playing and running around and watching them chase me and, killing them, and they're trying to kill me, I was like, thank the engineers. We finally, have NPCs that are literally no longer as dumb as rocks. And as we get more engineering power put to them, they'll get smarter. And so, that's one of the things that I'm really happy to see. Because, especially when it comes to testing, it makes testing so much easier.
Inflicting Megahertz wants to know, when do you expect the next batch of design docs?
That's a really good. I got to get to that. That's on me.
And we're live.
Hey, we're back. For some reason, our stream did the defunct thing. So we restarted. Please continue with questions.
Mumblefish asks, may NPC guards have player-definable patrol patterns and other behaviors, or influenceable patrol patterns?
Absolutely. That's why we had to get them smart. NPCs that only activate if you come within a range of them, unless you make the range like forever, are far too easy to defeat. When you guys do your raids. So, having them, patrol your grounds, move around, maybe be a little unpredictable will make things a little bit more difficult.
Bobo Dayak asks, what will be a good time for suggesting ideas for eventual future classes? Do you prefer to wait until after launch?
Oh, God, no. That's what the forums are for. Start a thread. Talk about it. We love ideas. One of the things I've always said, and this goes back, to Mythic as well as to USI, if somebody, whether you're a gamer, whether you're somebody who works at the studio, any ideas that, you can give that are as good or better than ours, fan-fucking-tastic. That would just be lovely. If it makes the game better, I don't care, who suggests it. So please, if you've got some ideas, knock yourself out. Sorry, I got an itchy mustache. Oh, gotta shave this thing down.
Scott the Rock asks, will we have a town to upgrade like our own little castle?
If you build it.
We are up.
Sorry, this is the second restart, and so we're going to call it here. We'll look for one last question. Just be done. Hopefully we'll get it in. If we don't get it in, we won't come back. We have no idea what's going on with our internet connection right now. So please, if there's one great question, I'll answer it. If not, we'll just, cut it short.
Question: what ISP are you using?
One that's not making us very happy right now.
I don't have a good one on.
Okay. All right, then with that, folks, sorry about the really short Q&A, but, with 2 killed streams, just don't want to keep doing this. We'll keep you updated about a test this weekend. The great news is we found the big perf regression, and that's being taken care of. Everything is going along swimmingly, including hiring. So all is good. All is really good. And with that, and as always, we thank you for your support. I will be here next week, and we'll do hopefully a longer one and try to figure out what the hell is going on with our internet. Because this is really weird. This just doesn't happen very often. So everyone have a great weekend. Enjoy. If you have good weather, and if you don't have good weather, sorry. I'm going to try to enjoy it by taking one of the days definitely off and, relaxing. So with that, again, goodbye, and see you all next week. Oh, and the other thing, as I said, in late October, most likely, we'll have a very long conversation about probably everything you want to know about where we are with CU. So, yay.
See you later.